takes the Talent Awakening test and shocks everyone on the spot. Even the world's top hunter association spares no expense inviting him to join. All because the man awakens a SSS-rank cloning ability. Each clone possesses 100% of the original's power, and all training done by the clones transfers completely to the original body. He only needs to lie at home to become the world's strongest. But 3 days ago, he was just a complete shut-in. To awaken his talent, he participated in the Talent Awakening test. These so-called talents are awakeners that appear only once in 1,000 people. Today is extremely important. Even TV station crews come to broadcast live, but I'm just here with a might-as-well-try attitude, not really believing I can awaken a talent. Soon, a staff member confirms my identity, then directs me forward to stand before the portal. The moment my steps stop at the portal, I only feel the aura bursting from inside is terrifying. Success or failure hinges on this moment. If I can awaken a talent, I can change my life. The next moment, I reach my hand directly inside, and currents of electricity ripple across my arm. Then I hear electronic sounds. Identity confirmation in progress. User identified as Earthling Sang Woo Jung. Information confirmed. System authorization and login complete. Then I snap my eyes open. The instant I reached my hand in, I passed out, and now my head is throbbing. Opening my eyes again, I find myself in a different place. This seems to be the bunker they mentioned. I instinctively scan my surroundings and notice many people dry heaving just like me. Just then, a girl cries out excitedly that she has a superpower, and a blazing fireball appears in her palm. The next moment, 3 or 4 people hand her business cards. They're all guild scouts. I let out a long sigh, really envying that girl. If only someone would approach me for a contract. As soon as the thought crosses my mind, a smiling person approaches me, asking what ability I've awakened. With a wave of my hand, a status window appears before me. It displays all my attributes, and the skill I've gained is cloning. This stuns me. It's exactly what I hoped for. I've always wanted to get a cloning ability, and I actually got it. Then, I check my other attributes and find they're pitifully low. But I don't really care. The skill is what matters most. I check the cloning description. It shows I can summon clones identical to myself by consuming stamina. The higher the level, the more I can summon. Currently, I can summon 1, with a 24-hour cooldown. Reading carefully, I notice there's no combat prerequisite. I wonder if I can use it regularly in daily life. No one else can see another person's status window, so the person beside me waits while I carefully review the information. Learning my initial stats are rather poor. He doesn't say anything, just asks what ability I obtained. I say bluntly that I awakened cloning. I wasn't planning to hide it anyway. Hearing this, the scout freezes on the spot, then says he doesn't have time to chat anymore and tells me to register myself later. This leaves me speechless. Is cloning really that unpopular? Actually, they've encountered cloning users before, but those clones were all illusions, completely useless. Hearing this, I understand. He looks down on my cloning ability, but I won't tell him my clones aren't illusions. Then I queue up at a registration desk and enter all my information into the database. After registration, they issue me a wristband, like an ID card specifically for awakeners. Right now, I'm extremely curious about what kind of skill cloning really is. After getting home, I can't wait to test it out. The next moment, I summon the mana from my body, and a blue light glows around me. Then a stream of blue mana bursts out from within me. This startles me quite a bit. After all, it's my first time using this ability, so I don't know what to expect. The mana makes gurgling sounds. After a puff of white smoke, a person who looks exactly like me appears before me. This amazes me. It looks like he's a one-to-one replica of me. I can't help but say, "Are you really my clone?" The clone answers, "Yes, master. I am your clone." This makes me feel extremely awkward, mainly because he's not wearing any clothes. I reach out and touch the clone, finding his shoulder has real flesh on it. This is definitely the feel of real skin, not some illusion at all, though that big chunk of fat on the belly looks pretty ugly. Moments later, I find him some clothes and give him a command to sit down. He seems very obedient. I also discover that even if I speak to him mentally, the clone can execute commands. Then I tell him to stand up, repeating the sit and stand commands. He immediately begins standing up and sitting down continuously, repeating it over and over. Before long, he's drenched in sweat, but shows no sign of stopping. It seems the clone's stamina is about the same as mine. As I continue my research, my phone suddenly rings in my pocket. I check it and find it's an old classmate. He sent me a long string of messages, bragging throughout, saying he awakened 2 skills. I'm busy replying to my classmate and don't notice the clone is about to collapse from exhaustion. He mocks me, asking if I also awakened a skill, but even if I did, it's probably something like rolling around on the ground. His words are really nasty. This guy is so annoying. Just then, my system window automatically pops up, showing my stamina increased by 0.001. Meanwhile, at Enladen Corporation headquarters, a man stands observing below. He is George Lucas, possessing the Blink skill, an S-rank hunter in Country B, and the first to conquer Odin Dungeon. He receives a report that statistically, only 40% of the world's 3 billion population has awakened. However, they've used other methods to increase the awakening probability. Within 5 years, the entire national population will awaken. Lucas feels anxious, wondering if they can raise the population's overall strength before the Great Crisis arrives. Time quickly passes, and a month goes by. I'm running like crazy in the park. During this month, I've been extremely disciplined, running every day until completely exhausted. Even the old men in the park can't watch anymore, thinking if this person keeps running like this, his lungs might explode. But I ignore their comments and just keep running. After all, the one running isn't me, it's my clone. Even if he drops dead, it doesn't matter. And during this month, I lost 10 kilograms. Plus, all my attributes have improved significantly. During this month, just lying at home, I've increased quite a few attributes. months, and during this time, I've learned some things about the clones. First, pain and damage suffered by clones don't transfer to me. Second, if clones take damage beyond their limit or exhaust their stamina, they vanish. Third, when I grow stronger, clones grow alongside me. Fourth, even if the clone and I are far apart, I can command him through thought. Fifth, clones cannot use cloning themselves. If clones could use cloning, I could have infinite clones. That would be too amazing. But even running every day only helps me lose weight. The increase to my stats is still too little. I pick up the gym flyer on the table. Grinning, I think of a brilliant idea. Send the clone to work out while I play games at home. I check my phone balance. It's nowhere near enough to get the clone a gym membership. Plus, I just paid tuition and meal fees. There's literally no money in my account. Thinking about this, I decide it's necessary to find a part-time job. Soon, I find a package sorting job online. To be safe, I'll work together with the clone for the first few days. I immediately call the job posting number. They tell me to report to the logistics center tomorrow afternoon. Time flies, and it's the next afternoon. To avoid suspicion, I deliberately bundle the clone up completely. I also give the clone a name. Number 1. I feel the clone's intelligence isn't too high, so I specifically instruct him. From now on, your name is Gyeongdo. Don't stand there clueless when someone calls your name. Soon, a middle-aged man walks toward me and greets me. This surprises me greatly. It's actually Uncle Deokshul. Ridiculously, when I bow, my clone also bows stiffly. He tells me to head to the office and report directly. I slap my face hard, signaling myself not to be nervous. This is my first time ever looking for work. I hope I don't mess up on the job, but I'm an awakener now, so it should be fine. So I head to the office registration area, full of energy. But unexpectedly, just moments later, I'm completely exhausted. I was way too arrogant earlier. I didn't expect this work to be so hard. Meanwhile, my clone obediently keeps working over there. This surprises me a bit. Our stamina is supposedly the same, so why can he keep going? Meanwhile, I'm exhausted like a dog. This doesn't make sense. I decide to rest at home tomorrow. This kind of work is better left to the clone alone. After finishing this work, I nearly meet my maker. Just then, someone hands me 2 bottles of cola. Looking up, it's actually the uncle. Seeing how exhausted we both are, he went to the convenience store and bought us some snacks. He immediately praises the clone for having great energy. We need energetic young guys like you working here. As for me, he thinks I've definitely never suffered before. You absolutely can't handle this kind of work. But he does praise our persistence. If it were ordinary people, they'd have run away by now. Actually, the ordinary person he's talking about is me. If I had money, I would have fled long ago. While I'm chatting with the uncle, the clone downs an entire bottle of cola in one gulp. The uncle has a daughter whose grades aren't good, but he wants her to get into college. Suddenly, an idea strikes him, and he asks if I'd like another part-time job. I tell him to go ahead. If the job isn't exhausting, I can do it. His proposal is to tutor his daughter. He'll pay appropriate tutoring fees. I think carefully. My grades are pretty decent. I should be able to handle tutoring someone. Thinking about my empty pockets, I quickly agree. The uncle says as long as I agree to tutor his daughter, he'll pay me 50,000 won per session, 2 hours each, twice a week. 50,000 won for 2 hours isn't little, but not a lot either. Converting to country Z currency, it's about 50 yuan. So I reach an agreement with the uncle and accept this part-time job. As for the hard labor, I'll leave that to my clone. I can't handle any hardship anyway. Thinking about this, my stomach feels hungry, so I open the snack bag to see what's left to eat. Unexpectedly, the clone ate everything inside. Looks like this guy can eat even more than I imagined. The next morning, I'm wincing in pain. From now on, I'm leaving this physical labor directly to the clones. There's absolutely no way I'm doing it again. Just then, my status window suddenly pops up, showing my stats have improved again. I close my eyes and send a mental message to number 1, telling him he can come back now, then I'll resummon him at home. After receiving my message, the clone quickly returns home. Then I go to a gym and get a yearly membership. Just as I finish getting the card, I receive a phone call. The caller is yesterday's uncle, telling me to come to his house now to tutor his daughter. Soon, I arrive at the uncle's front door, but I notice sounds of arguing inside. Out of curiosity, I eavesdrop outside for a bit. Then the uncle suddenly swings the door open and smacks me right in the face. This leaves me feeling so frustrated. If I'd known, I wouldn't have eavesdropped. Standing before me is a girl, the uncle's daughter. The uncle keeps apologizing to me. I really didn't see you there. Sorry for hitting you, the aunt beside him exclaims. You're saying woo? You've lost so much weight I barely recognize you. Ha Eon stands nearby, her face flushed red. She was resistant at first, but didn't expect the tutor to be this handsome. Seeing this scene, the couple immediately thinks the tutoring might work out, constantly gesturing to each other to look at their daughter. Right now, Ha Eon feels embarrassed that I heard her shouting earlier, but I'm not paying attention to her at all. Before officially starting lessons, I want to understand her grades first. This statement catches Ha Eon off guard, but when I see her report card, my mouth twitches. How can someone possibly be this bad? She actually got the lowest rank, grade 7. These grades are absolutely terrible. After I look at the report card, dead silence falls over everyone. The uncle grabs his jacket and runs straight out the door, telling me to tutor his daughter well at his house. Ha Eon doesn't know what to say. Her grades have always been poor. For some reason, she just can't absorb the material. Instead, she's interested in hunters. I tell her not to lose heart. With me here, I can definitely help improve her grades somewhat. This makes Ha Eon's heart leap with joy. If she can improve her grades, maybe she can get into college. After leaving the uncle's house, I let out a long sigh. I just taught Ha Eon some basic knowledge. Fortunately, she's relatively smart, not as dumb as I imagined. Although she's not really the studious type, getting into some college shouldn't be a problem. Then I open my computer, planning to buy some skill equipment in the marketplace. However, some of the skills inside are extremely expensive, at least beyond what I can afford right now. I also check a telepathy skill scroll and discover that even if I sold houses and cars in this lifetime, I couldn't afford this scroll. I'm so broke now I can only eat instant noodles. Where would I get money to buy skills? These skill scrolls are so expensive because they're sold to hunters. Are all those hunters really that rich? Thinking about this, I decide I can also take the hunter exam. Recalling news I've seen before, every hunter has plenty of money. I've never heard of a hunter dying poor. I suddenly sit up from my bed. I've discovered a serious mistake. I've already awakened. How can I let such an amazing cloning ability be wasted on unloading cargo? Without further hesitation, I immediately grab my jacket from the bed. I might as well go take the hunter license exam and try being a real hunter. So-called hunters are those who can fight the monsters inside the gates. Though their income is extremely high, it comes with enormous risks. These hunters are all 1 in 10,000 talents. Each person's ability is different. I've heard some powerful hunters can even slaughter their way through all the monsters in an entire gate. To become a hunter, you must first pass the exam, then receive a nationally issued license, and then you can start hunting monsters. Soon I arrive at the hunter center. Looking at the magnificent building, I'm somewhat amazed. After sleeping last night, my energy is activated and my condition is pretty good. Walking in, I'm stunned by the scene inside. All sorts of people are here. It seems like a mall built specifically for hunters. However, there aren't many hunters around me, which confuses me. Aren't many people coming to take the qualification exam? Just then, a staff member announces that in 20 minutes, entry for the hunter license exam on the basement level will close, so hurry if you're coming. Hearing this, I feel somewhat nervous, but I still register and head to the exam hall. After opening the door, I freeze again. I didn't expect everyone inside to look so fierce, as if a single glance could kill me. This scares me so much my hair stands on end. How are there so many people? Weren't there hardly any in the lobby? Someone among them chuckles. This guy's clearly a greenhorn. Soon the instructor arrives at the exam hall. He's C-rank hunter Myung-Won Han. Myung-Won Han continues, this license exam consists of a written test, skill assessment, and ability evaluation. Anyone caught cheating will be disqualified and cannot retake it this year. He emphasizes once more that cheating is absolutely not allowed on his watch. The look Myung-Won Han just gave off carries real intimidation, making everyone's hearts race. This is my first time experiencing such powerful pressure. Then he announces, the hunter qualification exam now officially begins. Meanwhile, a man is speeding down the highway. He is Junmo Kang, manager of JM Management Company. He checks the time. The hunter exam is almost over. He was delayed by something today. Otherwise, he would have arrived at the hunter center long ago. Soon, my wristband shows I've passed the assessment and become an F-rank hunter. Becoming a hunter so suddenly still surprises me a bit. I'd heard before that the hunter exam is as simple as getting a driver's license. I was curious how simple it could be. Turns out it really is very simple. The written test mentioned earlier only has 20 questions, all common ones. During the skill assessment, they give plenty of practice time, and the attack targets are very close. As for the ethics test, it's exactly like moral education class exam questions. No difficulty at all. This makes me wonder if this country deliberately makes the hunter exam easy, meaning you'll definitely pass just by showing up. Though something feels off, I don't plan to dig deeper. I turn to glance at the building. It feels like the country is encouraging us to become hunters. That's not a good sign. Thinking so much now is useless. Better to just head home. Looking up, I see many people ahead handing out business cards. They must be guilds recruiting new hunters. Just then, someone also appears behind me and hands me a business card. The man introduces himself. If I want to inquire about monster hunting or buying and selling equipment, I can contact him. He can charge a small fee and provide the best service. I chuckle. If I need anything, I'll contact you, but at the same time, my status window suddenly flashes open. Opening it, I'm stunned. What did number 1 do today to give me such a huge boost? Because my system panel shows I can now summon 2 clones, I immediately leave. I don't have time right now. I'll contact you later. The man looks aggrieved. Please be sure to contact me. I really can provide the best service. After returning home, I immediately use cloning. 2 identical people now appear before me. I can't help grinning from ear to ear. I knew cloning was the best ability. Then I pick up the business card. I want to give him a call. Meanwhile, that agent has returned to his car. He handed out all the business cards he brought today. He doesn't know if anyone will contact him. Previously, at the company, he faced a lot of contempt from people. If he doesn't show some results soon, he might have to leave this industry. Just then, his phone suddenly rings in his pocket. The caller is naturally me. I arrange to meet him at a coffee shop in 2.5 hours. The agent wastes no time and quickly arrives at the appointed place. Sorry for being rude earlier today. I had an urgent matter and had to rush home. My purpose in contacting him this time is to have him help me find a relatively safe hunting ground. I also tell him I awakened cloning. Hearing this, the agent falls into thought. He's encountered cloning before, but it was just an intangible illusion skill. If cloning has no physical form, achieving results at hunting grounds would indeed be very difficult. But he doesn't refuse directly. Instead, he has me look at the contract first. The first hunting ground he proposes is the slime hunting ground. Though not dangerous, monsters release acidic liquid and toxic gas when they die, requiring protective masks and suits. But the gear is too cumbersome for extended combat. That's its only drawback. I take out my phone and snap a photo of the contract. I indicate this isn't a problem. Next, he mentions the second hunting ground, the Cunning Rabbit hunting ground. Opposite of the slime ground, you can fight for extended periods here, but the rabbits are very hard to catch, and profits aren't high. There are protective walls there where you can safely hunt by shooting. Besides these, there's another hunting ground specifically for hunting low-level giant rats, but it can't be called absolutely safe. If we're talking safety, the first 2 hunting grounds are safer. As he speaks, I keep nodding. These 2 places are indeed good. I'm also satisfied with the equipment trading calculating settlement ratio. Then I slap my hand on the table. I want to sign a contract with you. Seeing this, the agent is very happy. He asks which hunting ground I want to start with. Just then, a large hand suddenly appears and stamps the contract. Then a voice follows. When I said both places are good, I mean I want to hunt at both places simultaneously. When the stamp lifts, my name is already printed on it. This leaves the agent utterly astonished. How did an identical person appear? I ignore the agent's surprise. The clone and I shout together, I want to hunt at both places at the same time. Is there a problem? Recalling earlier, the agent had also encountered a hunter with cloning. At that time, he had the cloning hunter demonstrate the skill. With a flick of his finger, a clone appeared on each side. Then exerting again, 4 or 5 clones appeared behind him. Seeing this scene at the time, he was very amazed. Then those clones drew the swords from their backs and aimed at the hunter. This scene startled the agent greatly, but as the swords pierced through, they had no effect on the hunter whatsoever. Only then did the agent realize the clones couldn't actually harm anything. But now, it's completely different. This clone is actually physical. Not only that, it seems he can drink beverages just like a normal person. He's never seen such an incredible ability. This scene truly stuns him. So he can't help but guess, are you triplets? I laugh heartily. You could understand it that way. After all, no one would believe cloning can be physical. But facts are facts. These two are just my clones. Besides this one here, I sent another clone to the gym. This leaves the agent even more bewildered. Can clones synchronize their training too? Exactly as he thinks. As long as the clones grow stronger, I grow stronger too. The agent has seen many things. A skill this powerful absolutely won't stop at F rank. Seems like a very promising young man. I tell him to answer my earlier question. My 2 clones hunting at 2 different grounds. Is there a problem? On this point, he says there's no problem. He can help me apply to hunt at 2 grounds simultaneously. Then we agree to meet at the Hunter Center in 2 days. He'll arrange everything by then. In the blink of an eye, 2 days pass. I turn and look around but don't see the agent. But after waiting a bit, I hear someone calling me from behind. The agent always arrives 20 minutes early. Didn't expect I'd arrive even earlier than him. Then he takes me to customer service to explain the situation and have them issue me another identity wristband. The process goes very smoothly. Soon I receive the second wristband, which allows simultaneous entry to 2 hunting grounds. Just then, a figure on the 3rd floor is watching in our direction. The man chuckles. Didn't expect to run into a former colleague here. This sharp-featured man is Haisong Shin, manager of Comet Guild. The man leaps and instantly vanishes from his spot. With a thunderous crash, he lands heavily on the ground. His powerful aura makes many people turn to look. He says slowly, didn't expect to see you here. Long time no see. I'm somewhat confused about who this person is, since I don't know him. And Haisong Shin doesn't know me either. The person he's looking for is the agent behind me. The agent looks embarrassed. Didn't expect to run into this guy here. Then he says through gritted teeth, Manager Shin, what a pleasure. Hearing this, he laughs heartily. No need to be so formal between us. Then he lifts his chin and glances at me, asking who I am. So the agent introduces me, saying I'm a hunter from his company. Haisong Shin looks at what I'm wearing, then glances at my jeans, and judges from my overall appearance that I'm an F-rank hunter. His body begins trembling uncontrollably. I can't believe after leaving the guild you started signing F-rank hunters. You're really asking for trouble. You used to manage B-rank hunters. Then Haisong Shin throws his head back laughing. Now you're managing an F-rank hunter in a hoodie. If word gets out, you'll be the industry's laughingstock. Hearing this, the agent is extremely angry. Insulting him is one thing, but absolutely no one insults the hunters he signs. That's always been his principle. But just as he's getting angry, I press my hand on his shoulder. I signal the agent not to get worked up. I'll handle what comes next. Haisong Shin takes 2 steps toward me. That terrifying aura nearly crushes my heart. Seems like this F-rank hunter has something to say to me. I chuckle. I don't have much to say. Just that it's my honor to meet the manager of the country's #1 guild. This statement immediately cools his anger. Seems like although your rank is F, your judgment is more than F rank. But then I imitate his tone and gestures. A guild that ranks first in arrogance. Of course I know about it. Hearing this, Haisong Shin is furious. You've got some nerve, kid. Then his aura suddenly erupts. His A-rank power instantly presses down on me. In just a blink, he appears behind me and says in a low voice, let me see if your skills match your courage. This shocks me greatly. When did this guy get behind me? Just then, a man with glasses calls out, Manager Shin! Helplessly, he can only let it go. After all, this is the Hunter Center. They won't let him cause trouble here. Before leaving, he asks my name, but I don't answer. Instead, I say, go find out yourself. In the future, my name might make you tremble in fear. But Haisong Shin just treats it as a joke. He doesn't believe an F-rank hunter can make any real waves. On the way back, we remain silent for a long time. After a moment, the agent finally says slowly, thanks for earlier. I tell him not to mention it. We're in the same boat now. I can't just stand by and watch. Previously, I did some research online about the agent's company. Although there isn't much information about his company online, I still found some rumors about the agent saying he was kicked out of Comet Guild for whistleblowing. On Hunter forums, people say never to work with such a company, or you'll definitely be targeted by other guilds. The agent smiles awkwardly. No wonder no one has contacted him in these 3 months. His information has already spread online. But this is also what puzzles him. If that's the case, why did you still choose my company? I laugh heartily. Naturally, it's because of money. Your settlement ratio is very favorable. Besides that, there's another reason. You couldn't stand the industry's unwritten rules and even left the guild. I think someone like that is worth trusting. Hearing my words, the agent grips the steering wheel tightly. This is the first time he's been validated. Meanwhile, at the gym, my clone has been training continuously at the gym for 9 hours. Even his palms are bleeding from the friction. The person beside him is dumbly dumbfounded. Even someone who loves fitness like him absolutely couldn't do this. The woman next to him asked if we should stop him from training, but he said it was useless because he'd already said it multiple times. Then I called him and told him to shower after his workout and meet me at the gym. The next second, he chugs down the drink in his hand. Meanwhile, at the slime training ground, I just finished the trial. After taking off the hood, I let out a long breath. It was way too stuffy inside the trial ground just now. All hunters know this, so hardly anyone comes to this trial ground. But the task is simple. You just can't stay inside for too long. You just need to fill up the slime canisters behind you. Doing this job requires at least 6 hours of stamina. But for me, forget 6 hours. Even 30 minutes feels a bit difficult. So I decide to leave this job to Clone 2 instead. The next moment, I take off his hat and put the hood on his head, watching Clone 2's figure fade into the distance. I tell him with tearful eyes to work hard and not come back until he's worked for 6 hours. 10 minutes later, I arrive at the gym entrance to pick up Clone 1. Soon we arrive at Musashi Mountain Hunting Ground. There are actually special forces guarding the entrance. This hunting ground seems much stricter than other hunting grounds. Because monster escapes happen here, many armed personnel are needed to guard the place. In this world, gates are basically isolated from the outside world, so hunters need to enter inside the gates to hunt monsters. But there are always some monsters that escape from gates and cause destruction to the surroundings. This phenomenon is called a monster break. Entering the hunting ground, I find quite a few people hunting here. Here you need to bring your own equipment. If you don't have any, you can rent equipment here, but the fee is a bit expensive. Soon they prepare 400 bullets and a gun for me, charging a total of 700,000 won. This pains me deeply, making my already poor life even more penny-pinching. Deokchul chuckles. The bullets here are indeed expensive, but if you can catch many cunning rabbits, you won't think it's expensive. One cunning rabbit is worth as much as 1 barrel of slime liquid, and the venue we're heading to next is the 3rd floor of Building F. As soon as I open the door, I hear crackling sounds. Looking closely, I see many hunters hunting here. Deokchul tells me to go to Station 4. That's the spot reserved specifically for me. He asks if I'm confident about shooting. This makes me scoff. You're really underestimating me. During the hunter exam, I only missed 3 shots. This leaves Deokchul speechless. The exam targets were so close and you still missed 3 shots. That's a first. At this moment, I think, cunning rabbits of Musashi Mountain, none of you will escape my hawkeyes. Just obediently enter my cage. This almost makes Deokchul want to hit me, but fortunately, everyone else is wearing earplugs and can't hear what I'm saying. Then I slowly move the scope and aim at one of the cunning rabbits. I shout in surprise, "I found a cunning rabbit!" So I aim the scope at the rabbit's head. With a gunshot, I pull the trigger. 3 hours later, the sun has already set. What makes me collapse is that I haven't killed a single rabbit. This deals me a huge blow. All that money wasted for nothing. At first, aiming was going pretty smoothly, but every time the gun fires, they manage to escape precisely. This makes me sigh deeply. It seems this trial ground isn't suitable for me. Soon Deokchul is ready to leave too. He's been watching from the side for 3 hours and is about to fall asleep. Then I tell Clone 1 to continue hunting cunning rabbits here. Use this gun beside me to shoot rabbits, then retrieve them with a harpoon gun. Send me a 1 for each one you hit. If you run out of bullets, call me. But I'm still not hopeful. I'd better go home and sleep early. Before sleeping, I glance at the system panel and find that Clone 2 is working quite hard. Now all my attributes are increasing, though very slowly. This reminds me of Haesung Shin from earlier today. Before him, I'm as weak as an ant. After waiting more than 2 hours, I find my phone hasn't made a single sound. I slowly close my eyes. I hope when I wake up tomorrow morning, I'll see that Clone 1 has caught at least 1 cunning rabbit. Soon I fall into a deep sleep. However, my phone keeps buzzing. Looking closely, they're all ones sent by Clone 1. Each one represents that he's hunted a cunning rabbit. Early the next morning, Deokchul receives a phone call. The other party tells him to hurry to the slime hunting ground. The hunter named Sang Yudrong has been working continuously for 24 hours, and his condition is very abnormal. Hearing this, Deokchul grabs a piece of clothing and prepares to drive over. The next day, after waking up, I stretch. It's rare that I got a good night's sleep. Opening my phone, I see messages from Clone 1. Probably his bullets have run out. But as I keep looking, I feel something's off. He sent me many messages. Then I exclaim, "Oh my god, how did Clone 1 do this?" At the same time, Deokchul also arrives at the hunting ground. He looks at the 8 canisters in front of him, filled to the brim with slime liquid. His heart is filled with amazement. After all, no one has ever collected so much slime liquid in one day, and right now, his working condition is very abnormal. Seeing the situation, he immediately calls me. It connects quickly. I tell him to speak fast. I have urgent matters right now. Deokchul speaks rapidly. "You're simply amazing. I'm at the slime hunting ground right now. Your clone filled all the liquid barrels in just one day. Now he's about to contact the Monster Corpse recovery team for help. Stop Clone 2's execution command." After hearing his words, I feel incredibly awkward. I want him to send another recovery team to Musashi Mountain Hunting Ground. At this moment, at Musashi Mountain Hunting Ground, many people gather around taking photos and discussing. Everyone is amazed. Just how many rabbits is this? This is simply incredible. Some even filmed this video and posted online. And all these rabbits were hunted by my clone alone. At this moment, a guild manager walks up to Clone 1. He hands over his business card asking me to take a look. He hopes I can join their guild. There will definitely be excellent treatment. But Clone 1 doesn't say a single word from start to finish. This makes that manager very embarrassed, but to recruit Clone 1, he still endures it. Other guilds behind him tell him to give up, because earlier in the morning, many people tried to contact him but never got a response. At this moment, I quietly come to Clone 1's side and hand him a box. I whisper, "Here are bullets. If you run out, send me a message again." Opening it, I see I've gotten Clone 1's 1 300 bullets. I encourage him, you did very well, please keep up the good work. This moves Clone 1 deeply. Then Clone 1 suddenly stands up and loads the bullets with 2 clicking sounds. The people behind him look surprised. Is he going to start hunting again? Someone tells the people around to be quiet because they want to see just how this person catches cunning rabbits. After returning, I make many notes about the clones. I feel I had misunderstood the clones' abilities before. They only have 50% of my strength but can perform with very high efficiency. They all possess machine-like task execution ability, unwavering judgment, and intense concentration. Just then, a scream pulls my thoughts back. Ha-eon beside me tilts her head and looks at me. What are you doing? I've called you so many times and you haven't responded. I smile awkwardly. It's actually nothing. I just went to a hunting ground to hunt, and the results were much better than I imagined. Suddenly, Ha-eon stands up abruptly. You've been to a hunting ground? Are you a hunter? Only then do I remember. I've never told her about my hunter identity. Then Ha-eon picks up her phone and opens a video. Today, all the hunters in the forum are discussing someone. I wonder if you've seen him. When she shows me that video, I almost spit out the water I just drank. I say tremblingly, I don't know that person. Ha-eon tells me to watch the entire video. I heard he hunted 200 cunning rabbits in just one night. And this hunter is very mysterious. He only said one sentence from start to finish. The sentence he said was, I am the Hawkeye of Musashi Mountain, and he even pulled his hat down low when he said it. This stuns me. I didn't expect the clone to have Chunabu syndrome too. What I don't know is that Ha-eon also passed the hunter qualification exam, but doesn't dare to go to hunting grounds, so she has a request. That is, if she does well on her next exam, I should take her to a hunting ground once. Hearing her suddenly make such a request, I don't refuse. As long as she succeeds in advancing to the next grade, I'll take her. This makes Ha-eon incredibly happy, and she vows she will definitely succeed in advancing. She even pinky swears with me. Promise things must be done. After finishing the tutoring session, I prepare to leave and happen to chat briefly with Ha-eon's mother. At this moment, Ha-eon is hiding behind the door, eavesdropping on our conversation. The next moment, she runs straight to the bed and hugs her teddy bear with a shy expression, thinking that we've already agreed that next time I'll take her to a hunting ground. Then she opens her palm and a ball of light appears in her hand. She can't believe her tutor is actually a hunter. Now they have a common topic. At first, she was a bit resistant to her dad finding someone to tutor her, but now she's incredibly grateful to him because I show great seriousness in teaching and I'm very kind. Most importantly, I'm very patient and very handsome too. Ha-eon's heart starts fangirling. The next second, she sits upright in her chair. To fulfill the promise, she must work hard to advance. The scene shifts and I arrive at the cunning rabbit hunting ground. As soon as I get here, I see the scene of monster corpses being collected. Deokjol has called recovery teams to clean up before, but clearing this many cunning rabbit corpses at once is a first. After 2.5 hours of cleanup, they find a total of 352 cunning rabbits. At the same time, a message arrives on my phone. The payment for the cunning rabbit hunt has been deposited. Seeing over 30 million won transferred to my account, I'm shocked. This makes me incredibly happy. Now I've finally become suddenly wealthy. The reason I got so much money is because Deokjol thinks my ability exceeds F rank. He settled the payment according to E rank hunter standards. I think it's necessary to upgrade my rank next time. Just then, our conversation is interrupted by a voice. Not far ahead of us, there's a balding man. He points at Deokjol and says, "Are you this kid's boss?" Deokjol steps forward. "May I ask what you need?" Turns out this man came to extort money. Because today, the cunning rabbits were almost all killed by my clone. He didn't catch any rabbits today, so he demands we compensate him with 10%. He turns around and threatens us, saying if we don't give him money, he'll make trouble for us. Deokjol feels this person is annoying. We shouldn't have been chatting here just now. I didn't expect this kind of person to appear either. After thinking carefully for a moment, I come up with an excellent plan. I pat Clone 1's shoulder and say, "We won't be hunting here recently. You can hunt cunning rabbits all you want, so you don't need to worry." So we prepare to leave, but the extortionist doesn't agree. We ignore his words and walk right past him. This angers the man so much that he turns and swings a punch at Clone 1. Clone 1's eyes light up, ready to take the hit. With a bang, Clone 1 is sent flying by that punch. Then his body crashes into several pillars in succession. Finally, he falls heavily to the ground with a dull thud. Not only that, he spits out some blood, clearly suffering from serious internal injuries. This startles the man. He didn't even hit hard, so how did this happen? However, I on the side filmed that entire scene from start to finish. I pretend to say to Deokjol beside me, "This person actually attacked someone in the hunting ground. If others find out about this, they definitely won't let him off, right?" He looks around left and right and finds that quite a few people are indeed staring at him. Seeing this, I shout loudly, "If this video gets posted on the Hunter website, there will be big trouble. You actually dared to hit our superstar, the Hawkeye of Musashi Mountain." At this moment, the bald man's face is filled with fear, regretting his impulsiveness just now. "Stop shouting! I know what you want to do. Just tell me your purpose quickly." At this point, I also shut my mouth. "Transfer 500,000 won to me directly, or I'll post the video online." The man grits his teeth. He originally came to extort money, but unexpectedly got extorted himself. Moments later, Deokjol and I arrive at a coffee shop. shop. Deokshul speculates that person might have been sent by Comet Guild specifically to cause trouble, because that person had been watching him ever since Deokshul entered the hunting ground. They must have thought my clone was also a hunter signed by Deokshul, so they came to cause trouble. This kind of thing happened to the company before, so the company couldn't keep those hunters. Now the company only has me and a few F-rank hunters left. From now on, Deokshul can't guarantee whether Comet Guild will cause me more trouble. I tell Deokshul not to worry. Before signing with you, I already looked into it. I won't leave your guild, however we need to solve this matter. I've thought of a way to quickly become stronger, so for the next 2.5 hours, I keep explaining my method to Deokshul. After hearing it, Deokshul is stunned. He didn't expect we thought of the same thing. Then, he immediately picks up a pen to write it down, setting the time for 2 p.m. tomorrow, and the location is the entrance of the Hunter Market. The next day, Deokshul and I arrive at the Hunter Market Center. With the money I got yesterday, I buy an excellent complete equipment set. I also get a short sword for self-defense, while choosing firearms as my main weapon. Besides that, I also ask the owner to prepare 3 more identical sets of equipment for me. After buying the equipment, I come to look at the skill scrolls. The skill scroll I'm looking for is a familiars type skill. I wonder if I can find it here. Soon, at a counter, I see the skill I want. The name of this skill is Familiar Skill. It allows sharing senses and vision with summoned creatures, and the price is ridiculously expensive, 120 million won. This shocks me immensely. I only have a few tens of millions in my pocket. Where can I come up with over 100 million? Then I can only shamelessly ask Deokshul for an advance on some expenses. Deokshul also looks pained. He can only come up with 50 million. I'm extremely grateful for Deokshul's generous help. I'll pay the rest in installments. I should be able to buy it. As long as things go according to my expectations, then this expense will be a piece of cake for us, and we'll quickly earn the money back. After returning home, I carefully read the instruction manual. The introduction on it is very simple. Just inject magic power into the skill orb. If the user cannot control magic power, place the skill orb close to the body, then press the power switch of the skill orb activator. The next moment, I slowly reach my hand up. My heart is still a bit nervous. With a click, I press the power switch. The next moment, a golden light directly envelops my body. At the same time, a message sounds in my mind. I have learned the familiar skill. Then the skill information displays allows the user to share senses with subordinate targets. This makes me feel somewhat incredulous. I didn't expect to learn it so easily. Moreover, the skill orb disappeared after successfully learning it. I slowly stand up and tell Clone 1 and Clone 2 to assemble in front of me. The next moment, 2 figures suddenly appear before my eyes. I don't waste words and tell the 2 clones to quickly follow my steps and embark on the journey to become stronger. I've also discussed the upcoming arrangements with Deokshul. I ask him to prepare 2 locations for me, one for practicing close combat weapons and another for practicing long-range weapons. I want my 2 clones to simultaneously possess both close combat and long-range combat characteristics, and I come to an unpopulated area under a bridge. The next moment, with a thought, blue magic power emanates from my body. This is the benefit of the familiar skill. No matter how far apart, I can sense everything about the clones. Soon I enter Clone 2's body. At the same time, in front of him, a bald muscular man is charging at him. I suddenly open my eyes and carefully feel the power of Clone 2 controlling the body. Every movement of Clone 2, I can feel the angle of his joints and the center of gravity of his body. Besides that, there's also his muscle movement and the flow of power. At this moment, after dodging the attack, the clone immediately stands up and raises the wooden sword in his hand. With just one strike, he directly defeats the bald swordsman. Clone 1 on the other side is the same. Every time he fires a bullet, I can feel his aim and the pulling of the trigger. In reality, I'm just under the bridge releasing that familiar skill. My main body hasn't moved at all. At this moment, I slowly open my eyes. Everything the clones just experienced, I personally felt it all. What these 2 experienced is as if I'm experiencing it firsthand. Just now, when possessing Clone 2, I could feel the sensation of the staff passing before my eyes, and the impact when getting hit. And when possessing Clone 1, I could also feel the recoil when pulling the trigger and the smell of ammunition. The familiar skill isn't only manifested in this aspect. Even the fatigue they generate, I can clearly feel, and it sinks to my body as well. So although I'm not personally practicing, I can experience the clones' training sensations. And for the next period of time, I'll rely on this method to reach the clones' level myself. Just then, the status window suddenly pops up, showing that my stamina and explosive power have increased. I stretch. Today, I'll alternate between combat and shooting training. The next moment, I use the familiar skill, first connecting to Clone 1. At the same time, Clone 1 is sparring with the dojo master. When I see the dojo master's expression, I feel this person is very strong. This guy's eyes give me a feeling of being extremely sharp. Everyone sees that the dojo master has personally stepped up and all cast observing gazes. Then we set up our stances and prepare to attack. With a crack, I take the lead swinging the wooden sword to attack. Although that sword strike is blocked by the dojo master, the continuous attacks still make him somewhat overwhelmed. After exchanging a few moves with me, he finds my attack technique isn't very skillful. I haven't quite adapted to using the staff yet, but he feels that my reaction, speed, and defensive ability are very strong. I can always anticipate his attack trajectory and dodge him perfectly. As the dojo master's sword strikes down again, I clearly feel my arm trembling slightly with some stinging pain. I quickly counterattack. I must win against the dojo master in speed. With a bang, the combo the dojo master just released is perfectly replicated by me and struck back at him. The dojo master's heart is incredibly shocked. What a heavy blow. Could this guy be learning his attack patterns while fighting? Thinking of this, the dojo master feels very indignant. It seems he must bring out some real skill. With a whoosh, the dojo master's body twists rapidly, continuous attacks landing on my body. But what surprises everyone is that I dodge them all, and I even land a strike on the dojo master's collarbone. The dojo master silently feels pain but can't really show it. But the next scene greatly surprises him. He didn't expect to be pressed into the corner. For him, this can be said to be fatal. Sure enough, I don't let this good opportunity pass and immediately rush forward to swing the final sword. However, the dojo master just shows a sly smile, as if saying I'm still too green. Then, as my sword falls, the dojo master's body suddenly flies into the air. This greatly surprises me. Is this still within the realm of human operations? With a bang, the dojo master's powerful sword strike directly knocks the sword from my hand. His face reveals a very dignified expression. Everyone exclaims that the newcomer is quite good. Being able to press the master to use that move is quite impressive. But at this moment, I'm already in unbearable pain. From that strike just now, I feel like my wrist is about to break. The dojo master slowly stands up. That was really close just now. I almost got defeated by you. Then the dojo master proudly waves his arm. Do you want to continue? I can keep you company anytime. I asked Clone 1 if that strike just now had a big impact on the body. However, Clone 1 just moves his body rapidly and doesn't answer my question. The next moment, he actually perfectly replicates the dojo master's superhuman movement from just now. This shocks the dojo master immensely. This guy is simply a swordsmanship genius. Others are also greatly shocked, looking at me as if looking at a monster. Even I'm shocked. So Clone 1 didn't answer my question just now because he was imitating the dojo master's movements. Then I come before the dojo master and ask him to spar with me again. The dojo master chuckles and says no problem. He also wants to keep practicing with me. I've learned quite a bit from Clone 1's side. Now I prepare to connect to Clone 2's body. The next moment, a blue light flashes and I disconnect from Clone 1's body. At the same time, where Clone 2 is, a clay pigeon in the air is shattered by one shot. Below, a man looks proud. How was that, babe? Did you see my handsome form? The woman looks worshipful. That was so cool just now. You could hit the clay pigeon from so far away, but I feel incredibly awkward. I didn't expect Clone 2 to shatter someone else's clay pigeon. This makes me can't help but curse you, idiot. Only shoot your own. Don't shoot other people's clay pigeons. Then I don't think much more about it. I'd better concentrate on shooting. At this moment, another clay pigeon is thrown into the air. Clone 2's body movements are very smooth, raising the arm and gripping the gun in one fluid motion and fixing the upper body, then maintaining this posture without moving, slowly moving according to the clay pigeon's flight trajectory. When the aiming point overlaps with the clay pigeon's flight trajectory, quickly fire. With a crack, the clay pigeon in the air is directly shattered. Every subtle body movement of Clone 2, I must remember it clearly, because only this way can I keep up with the clone's pace. In the blink of an eye, time comes to evening, and I withdraw my consciousness. Today I've been continuously connecting with Clone 1 and Clone 2. Sharing their senses is really too exhausting. Moreover, I feel my magic power seems to be unable to support my long-term sense sharing. My body starts swaying. I grab the railing beside me. I must find a place to rest. Moments later, I sit by the riverside resting, thinking about the clone's movements in my mind. I think next time I should still go with them, because I also want to practice hands-on and see how well I've learned. Just then, Ha-eon passing by happens to see me sitting here. She walks over and asks why I'm sitting here so late. While we're talking, behind me there's a group of people staring at me. Among these three people, there's a man. I remember that's the Baldy from the trial ground. He seems to have brought two big brothers to help him get revenge and settle the score. Just 10 minutes ago, this Baldy made a phone call with a comic guild manager. The manager wants to cut ties with this Baldy. After all, the scene of him hitting someone was filmed, so the manager tells him not to show his face recently and hide near Musashi Mountain. Before hanging up, the manager also mentions, what you did has nothing to do with comic guild whatsoever. After hanging up, the man angrily smashes his phone against the wall. Who would have thought? He was actually used as a pawn. Just at this moment, his two big brothers happen to arrive, and while they're discussing what happened, they happen to see me ahead. Seeing my figure, the Baldy instantly loses his cool. Big bro, he's the one who filmed the video. Please get revenge for me. The big brother tells the Baldy not to get excited. Leave the rest to him to handle. At the same time, I don't know I've been targeted and am still chatting casually with Ha-eon, but soon a voice interrupts me. There are 3 people in total. Of these 3, the other 2 besides the one on the far right seem a bit dangerous. When I see that middle-aged Baldy, I know their purpose for coming. I silently curse. Damn it, today I'm not alone. Ha-eon is beside me. I must protect her. I immediately stand in front of Ha-eon and ask what they want to do. The Baldy beside them is already furious, but his big brother seems very composed. He lowers his voice and says slowly, I heard my brother was a bit impulsive. You filmed it, right? Just delete that video and we'll leave immediately. This makes my heart skip. I didn't expect the matter could be resolved so simply. I immediately hand over my phone. Let's be clear first. After deleting the video, you'll let us go. Just as I'm about to hand over the phone, I suddenly stop. If I delete the video and you still don't let us go, what then? Hearing this, the man chuckles. Looks like you really are a smart person. We never planned to let you go. Seeing him say this, I directly put my phone away. In that case, there's no need for me to delete the video. I tell Ha-eon beside me to quickly find a chance to run. Then I assume a fighting stance. I didn't expect to have a real combat opportunity so soon. Since the other party doesn't want to let us go, I don't want to let them go either. Anyway, I just need to beat them. The next moment, the 2 people in front of the big brother instantly rush forward. I twist my waist and dodge his attack, but my speed and reaction are still a bit off. I get hit in the head by another person. Then that middle-aged Baldy quickly seizes the opportunity and kicks out. Although this strike isn't very powerful, it's still difficult for me to withstand. hand. With a bang, another person directly hits my chin. Ha-eon is extremely worried. These three guys are really too detestable. With a thud, my body falls heavily to the ground. I spit out a mouthful of fresh blood. Am I going to lose my first fight? Then Ha-eon comes in front of me. She rubs her fingers and creates a ball of light in her palm. She shouts at the three people opposite, "Don't come closer or I won't be polite to you." I turn my head to glance at Ha-eon. I didn't expect I'm now so weak that I need a girl to protect me. But when I see Ha-eon's condition, my heart suddenly jolts. At this moment, Ha-eon stands in front of me trembling. This is caused by fear. The middle-aged baldy sees that Ha-eon is actually an awakener and immediately feels a bit uneasy. The big brother behind them slaps the two people's backs. "Don't let this girl intimidate you. Can't you see she's trembling?" At this moment, Ha-eon's heart is also extremely nervous. If they fight, she definitely won't be their match. The leader chuckles. "I just won't let you go. What can you do to me?" These words directly anger Ha-eon. "Since you won't listen, don't blame me for being merciless." With a bang, Ha-eon directly fires the light ball in her hand. That light ball strikes straight at the fatty's body. The power of this light ball directly creates a cloud of smoke on the spot. But when the smoke clears, Baldy is completely unharmed. This is the source of his confidence, the invulnerability rule. Fatty chuckles. "Didn't expect you to be so stubborn. Let's see how I deal with you in a moment." Fatty quickly raises his palm. As he strikes toward Ha-eon, my body rushes forward and blocks the attack. I curse at him. "You bastard! Did you think you could defeat me that easily?" Then I swing my fist and punch him right in the face. This scene stuns Ha-eon. The teacher's explosive power is actually this strong. My punch lands on Fatty's nose, making him stagger backward in pain. Seeing his boss getting hit, Baldy is the first to react and instantly charges at me. My heart races with anxiety as I quickly recall the feeling from sparring practice. Then, I suddenly remember the clone. When sparring with the dojo master, his attention wasn't on the opponent's staff, but on their shoulders, allowing him to act preemptively. And when attacking, it's not just about moving the arms. The power needs to transfer from the legs to the waist. Finally, all that gathered force concentrates into the arms. Bang! My fist connects with Baldy's head. But at the same time, another person charges at me. I know I can't dodge, so I brace myself for the hit. Then, as his punch lands on my face, I strike back simultaneously, trading blow for blow. Soon, I knock both of them down. Surprisingly, in my very first real fight, I'm already able to roughly apply some combat techniques. But the real danger is their boss. Unless I deal with him, the crisis isn't over. Earlier, the boss landed a punch on me, and it hit pretty hard. I absolutely must avoid getting hit again. Just one swing of his fist was this powerful. He must be an awakened who's unlocked some kind of power skill. The next moment, the boss charges at me fiercely. I quickly dodge, and while evading, I land a punch on his neck. My luck is pretty good. 2 consecutive punches successfully hit the boss's head. However, the boss acts as if he feels no pain and counterattacks directly, and the consequence of his recklessness is getting repeatedly hit in the face by me. Meanwhile, I skillfully dodge each of his attacks. I turn again and deliver a heavy uppercut to his chin. The henchmen on the side are stunned to see their boss getting beaten like this. The consecutive attacks infuriate the boss, and a terrifying aura erupts from his body. His arm yanks backward, preparing to unleash a charged power punch. Just from his aura, I can tell this punch will be devastating, so I decide to retreat. But to my surprise, a hand grabs my ankle. I'm done for. If this punch lands squarely, I'm in serious trouble. The opportunity passes in an instant. The boss's left hand grabs me while his right hand completes charging. Bang! His punch slams heavily into my stomach. The force of this punch makes my internal organs churn. Even Ha-eon beside me can tell my body can't withstand this punch. I'm sent flying and drop to one knee on the ground. Now I feel difficulty breathing, gasping for air. This suffocation makes me feel like I'll die at any moment. The boss laughs heartily and steps right in front of me. "Let's see how you dodge my attacks now." However, at this moment, a light orb directly hits the boss's body. I turn my head and see the person who struck is actually Ha-eon. Fortunately, she saved me at this critical moment. Otherwise, I'd be done for. Seeing this, Fatty's 2 henchmen immediately move forward to restrain Ha-eon. At the same time, 2 figures swiftly emerge. Ha-eon is stunned. She didn't expect someone to come to the rescue at this moment. Meanwhile, I slowly stand up. Now that my clones have arrived, Fatty's time is up. I wipe the blood from the corner of my mouth. "Bring it on. I've recovered now." Fatty curses angrily. "Don't think I'm scared just because you've got 2 helpers." He charges at me, but at this moment my figure sways slowly, becoming like an afterimage. When I reappear, I've already flipped along the wall. This is the finishing move I learned from the dojo master. When my face gets close to Fatty's, I flash him a smile. "Thanks for being my sparring partner." Then I deliver a heavy kick, sending the 200-plus-pound Fatty flying. After dealing with Fatty, I quickly sit on the ground, gasping heavily for air. Fortunately, an ability user like him isn't very strong. Otherwise, I really couldn't handle him. On the clone side, they quickly take care of the other 2. The system interface notifies me that my stamina has increased, along with my explosive power and physical strength. Then, another status window pops up, indicating I can now summon 3 clones. I chuckle. Looks like today was quite rewarding. Then, exhausted, my vision goes black and I pass out. They rush over in panic. But actually, they don't need to worry about me. I'm just exhausted. A good sleep will fix it. Time flies, and evening arrives. I slept in the park until now. It's just the right time to walk Ha-eon home. Ha-eon's face shows surprise. "I never imagined that famous hunter was actually your clone, teacher." When the clone arrived, Ha-eon recognized it immediately as the Hawkeye of Musashi Mountain. I cough awkwardly and tell Ha-eon to keep this secret. She absolutely can't tell anyone, because I don't want today's incident to happen again. Ha-eon assures me not to worry. Her lips are sealed. Soon we reach her home's entrance. I tell her to head up, but I still need to thank her for today. Otherwise, I couldn't have avoided that punch. And Ha-Eon looked really cool protecting me today. I tell her to study hard. Once her grades improve, I can take her to raid some hunting grounds. Hearing this, Ha-Eon is overjoyed. Then it's settled. You absolutely can't go back on your word. After walking Ha-Eon home, I noticed the 2 clones still following behind me. This makes me curious. Why are you 2 still here? Go train quickly. Otherwise, how will I get stronger? The 2 say in unison. It's too late now. The shooting range and dojo are both closed. Hearing this, I pick up a tree branch from the side. I tell them both to go to the park and continue training. You must make me as strong as you are. Time quickly passes. 1 month later. Today, the manager asks how my plan is going. I say everything is progressing smoothly. Not only that, but I can now summon 3 clones. For the manager, this is undoubtedly great news. I didn't expect your growth rate to be this fast. What surprises me most is that my ability stats have significantly improved over this month. If the manager knew my average level was this impressive, he'd be shocked. After all, E-rank's average ability value is only 1.4%. So I asked the manager to arrange a 3rd F-rank hunting ground for me. I want to deploy all 3 clones. The manager readily agrees. After all, the faster I progress, the more profit he gains. After hanging up, I look at the 3 clones. Starting today, I'll assign them 3 different programs. 1 for upper body, 1 for lower body, and 1 for cardio. Then I wave my hand. You 3 go train in the park and come back around noon tomorrow. Also, I tell them to leave all their guns with me. It would be terrible if they scared civilians. After they leave, I open the Monster Hunting Ground strategy website. Watching the clones spar, I discover their learning ability is extremely strong. As long as it doesn't exceed their physical limits, they can master any technique. So I plan to have them watch some moves from strategy videos. This way, hunting monsters will definitely go much smoother. So, I sit in front of the computer and watch strategy videos. Before I know it, it's noon the next day. When the clones return, I realize I haven't slept all night. Before they returned, I finished watching videos on hunting giant rats, monster fish, cunning rabbits, and other F-rank monsters. Now the key question is whether they can successfully hunt according to the strategies. First, I'll use the familiar skill to check the situation and experience the hunt. I'll gradually familiarize myself with combat. During rest, I'll learn methods to increase magical power. This way, I'll have something to do. 10 minutes later, I bring the clones to the building downstairs. As my clones increase, the manager feels I have an intimidating presence every time I go out. Then I have the manager take away my 3 clones. I don't plan to go. I'll stay home and study information related to magic and such. After returning home, I sit cross-legged and relax my body. According to the book's instructions, I guide the magical power within my body, recalling how every time I used skills before, I felt the power being drawn out. What I need to do is imagine magical power circulating within my body. Soon, a burning sensation occurs within my body. These heat currents seem to gather at my chest, then spread throughout my entire body. Gradually, I forget time, forget cultivation, forget what I'm doing, just focusing on capturing magical power. Suddenly, my eyes snap open wide as I awaken from that state. At the same time, a pop-up appears before me, indicating I've acquired the meditation skill. At first, I'm happy. I didn't expect to absorb magical power so quickly. But looking carefully, it's not magical power, just a meditation skill that improves sleep aid effects. Meanwhile, in a dungeon hunting ground, someone is slowly crawling, leaving drag marks on the ground. He crawls while trembling, completely terrified by the monster from before. He must get out quickly and report to the Hunter Association. This is just an F-rank dungeon. There shouldn't be a D-rank monster here. At this moment, something terrifying happens. From the reflection on his wrist guard, he sees the D-rank monster appearing behind him. The man is already trembling all over with fear. The monster's voice reaches his ears. "Dear Hunter, where exactly are you planning to report me?" A scream echoes through the entire forest. The man's fate is self-evident. At the same time, the manager brings the clones to this trial ground. He tells the clones to pay attention to one thing. There are monster fish here with extremely strong bite force. They absolutely cannot get tangled up with them. Then the manager sends me a message indicating all 3 clones have entered different trial grounds. His heart fills with emotion. He didn't expect this skill to be so powerful. The clones go out hunting while the original sleeps at home. The best part is that all gains from the clones synchronize to the main body. The manager watches my back, deep in thought. If this hunt goes smoothly, it might cause a huge uproar in the hunter world. Moments later, I receive the message from the manager, so I prepare to use the familiar skill to share their senses. When I enter Clone 1's body, I get quite a shock, because a giant rat just lunged onto Clone 1's blade. I glance around through Clone 1 and find his hunt is going quite smoothly. Moreover, they're all following the strategy I mentioned earlier. Several rats charge toward me from the front. This reminds me of a tutorial I saw on the website earlier. That person's advice was that when hunting giant rats, it's best to go in a group, but if coming alone, there are a few tricks. Bring ranged weapons, maintain distance, and shoot wildly. Clone 1 quickly draws the handgun from his waist. After several gunshots, all the rats take a bullet. If you don't finish them off immediately, they'll rush right up to the hunter. But Clone 1 doesn't panic at all. He draws his dagger and stabs through its eye into its skull. Crash! The rat falls heavily to the ground, but there are still many rats ahead of Clone 1. According to the strategy, these giant rats are just a pile of free experience points. Why not take them? At this moment, Clone 1 draws his handgun again and quickly chambers around. Bang! The bullet goes straight through its skull and pierces its spine. So far, all the monsters encountered are ones the clones can handle. No matter how difficult the hunt, they can succeed. And with each kill by the clones, I gain knowledge of monster hunting methods. This is the benefit of the familiar skill sharing. Soon my magical power, stamina, and attributes all increase. And all these ability values I gain feed back to the clones, allowing them to increase their hunting hunting speed. My goal for them today is to clear out all the monsters in their respective dungeons. Soon, new hunting teams enter, but they discover the dungeon hunting ground today is completely empty. They find quite a few monster corpses ahead. If sold, these would be worth a lot of money. Meanwhile, the clone's hunting progress is going very smoothly, but for some reason, I have a very empty feeling. Suddenly, I scream. I remember something. During previous hunts, the manager helped me find the corpse recovery team, but today, I forgot to take those monster corpses. That's cold hard cash, so I immediately order clone 1, 2, and 3 to retrieve the hunted monster corpses. Stop hunting until all monster corpses are stored in the containers. I feel like crying. If someone takes those monster corpses, it'll be a huge loss. At this moment, I notice a monster fish corpse nearby. I immediately ask clone 3, why didn't you take that corpse behind you? He says it's not one he hunted. His words make me angry. Have some common sense. These corpses are all money. We can't leave a single one behind. After hearing my words, clone 3 immediately goes to the monster fish corpse. I examine the corpse and find this wound indeed wasn't made by clone 3. But then who chopped this monster corpse up like this? It's practically fish chunks. At this moment, I hear rustling sounds behind me. This puts me on high alert. I absolutely cannot let my guard down in this dungeon. Suddenly, clone 3 quickly fires a shot, hitting a dead fish head. However, at this moment, something terrifying happens. Behind me stands a monster fish larger than all the monsters I've killed before. Clone 3's body just turns around when his arm gets pierced off by the monster fish. At this moment, clone 3 hasn't noticed anything unusual. He only feels his body getting hot and hasn't figured out what just happened. But at this moment, his teeth suddenly clench. Before clone 3 can even scream, I start screaming. This excruciating pain makes me feel terror. When I come to my senses again, I'm already back in my own body. I look at my trembling hand. That scene just now was too terrifying, and the after effect of the severed arm is especially severe. Even now, this hand won't stop trembling, so I stay in the living room crouching for quite a while before finally calming down. That scene earlier was too painful. I instinctively severed the connection, but now's not the time to space out. I must report this to the manager. When the manager receives my call, his face is happy, but then he can't be happy anymore because he senses my voice trembling, as if I've experienced something terrifying. I speak rapidly to him. Starting now, immediately go to the wastewater treatment plant dungeon and send clone 1 and 2 there. I'm leaving right now. We'll discuss details after arriving at the hunting ground. This matter is extremely serious. I hope the manager takes it seriously. At this moment, clone 3 is nearly exhausted, but as long as he doesn't fall, he'll fight to the end. Whoosh! The monster fish holds a crimson short sword in its hand. With one sword strike, it directly kills clone 3. At the same time, I arrive at the wastewater treatment plant entrance. Suddenly, a thread snaps in my mind. Clone 3 has already died at the monster's hands. I summon the status window to check and find that re-summoning clone 3 will take 6 hours and 34 minutes. Walking closer, I find clone 1 and 2 have already been brought here by the manager. After meeting, I explain the situation to the manager. Clone 3 was killed by a monster inside. As for that monster, I only remember it's half human, half fish, a fish head but with human arms and legs. Hearing this, the manager is instantly shocked speechless. He immediately tells me, that's a monster called a fishman. I'll contact the security office right now to have them seal this place. The fishman is D rank, so it can easily kill F rank hunters instantly. Even E rank hunters might get killed in one hit. But after hearing his words, I fall into thought. If they seal this place now, won't I be unable to enter? I quickly look up at the manager. Wait until my clones enter the gate before reporting, because I must avenge clone 3, even if he's just a clone. Also, I need the manager to trust me and my clones. Seeing he can't dissuade me, the manager agrees to my approach. Next, I sit cross-legged on the ground, blue magical power emanating from my body. I use the familiar skill and possess clone 1's body. Both of us are extremely cautious. If there's any sign of trouble, I'll order clone 2 to shoot immediately, because the hunters here have likely been devoured clean by this D-rank monster. But as we walk, clone 1 ahead suddenly clenches his fist, signaling those behind to stop. Not far from clone 1, a monster fish is enjoying its meal. I secretly rejoice. I didn't expect to have the initiative this luckily in my hands. Although my ability values are at E-rank level, the clone's ability response ratio is only 53%. In other words, even at my best, I'm just F rank. After my assessment, I find this monster before me can be a hunting target. I immediately draw my gun and aim at the monster's head. The next moment, both clones fire simultaneously. But when the bullets hit the monster fish, they're directly deflected. Now both clones are baffled, including me. I curse directly at the monster. I didn't expect this monster's body defense to be this strong. Bullets can't even penetrate its skin. The monster fish roars, as if about to shatter my eardrums. Then the monster leaps up. Its massive shadow under the sunlight looks like a small mountain peak. Boom! When its body crashes down, the ground faintly trembles. Fortunately, my two clones dodge quickly. One clone rapidly draws the short blade from his leg. Then his body spins once in midair and slashes across the monster fish's shoulder. But the power of this slash is minimal, only creating a shallow wound. This shocks me. Even using a blade can only inflict minor injuries. At this moment, the monster fish somehow produces a blade and aims at me. I immediately sink my energy and make my body drop rapidly. This scene is truly terrifying. Two clones working together can't even scratch the monster. But fortunately, this guy's massive size means he can't display his true strength in this cramped space. His blade is deeply embedded in a tree and can't be pulled out for the moment, so he simply stops trying to pull it out and chops the tree in half instead. His action makes me take back my earlier words. The monster fish's body emanates an incredibly powerful oppressive aura that makes one shudder, but my two clones aren't aren't afraid. They charge forward, one in front and one behind. Bang, bang! 2 bullets hit the monster fish's arms, but the effect is minimal. At this moment, the monster suddenly clenches its fist tightly. Bang! One of my clones is sent flying by a heavy blow. This guy is truly invulnerable to weapons. Suddenly, I think of something. Earlier, when shooting, although 1 bullet was deflected, 1 bullet did injure him. Thinking of this, I immediately aim at his wound. Bang, bang, 2 shots. Incredibly, they actually deal damage to his existing wound. This makes me delighted. My guess just now actually succeeded. This makes me chuckle. You fishman, get ready to eat bullets! For the next minute, both clones keep circling the fishman and continuously shooting at him. The fishman also knows his weakness is exposed and can only use both arms to shield his head. But at this moment, the blade in his hand actually glows with flames. The next moment, that blade appears before one of the clones. This greatly shocks me. I quickly raise my hand to block, but I find my strength is nothing compared to this monster fish. I didn't expect this monster fish to actually grow stronger during battle. Bang, bang, bang. The other clone fires multiple shots, but the monster fish blocks them all with 1 blade. This makes me wonder, could it be that blade reacting with his blood? But conversely, this proves the monster fish is also seriously injured, so we must finish this quickly. Clone 1 moves extremely fast and quickly slashes before him. However, this slash doesn't hit the monster fish's body and instead gives him a chance to counterattack. Thud! The monster fish nearly crushes my lower abdomen. The power of this punch is truly considerable. My pupils start to dilate, but I grip the monster fish's arm tightly. I never expected to solve this easily. I've always had one principle. If someone makes me bleed, I'll make them bleed more. Slash, 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 slash. I stab the monster fish 4 or 5 times consecutively, but the monster fish tanks it and prepares to counterattack me. I raise my arm to block the monster fish's attack. I know at this moment, I absolutely cannot let him gain the upper hand. Otherwise, I'll probably die too. At this moment, we're competing in willpower. Whoever has stronger willpower will stand last. But alas, this monster fish's physical abilities are too powerful. I'm kicked flying by him. Then he presses the advantage to deliver a fatal blow. But fortunately, the other clone helps me withstand the power of this strike. Then both join forces and prepare to continue fighting. 2 blades fall. These 2 attacks hitting the monster fish will definitely deal double damage. Sure enough, after the monster fish takes this move, blood flows abundantly from his body. Thump! The monster fish's body crashes heavily to the ground. This makes me breathe a long sigh of relief. Looks like the battle is over. After the battle ends, I'm too exhausted to even walk. Our luck is pretty good. After hunting the monster fish, the bullets in the gun are just used up, and now that the monster is dead, I need to have the manager quickly send the corpse recovery team over to collect it. But when I turn my head, there's no sign of the monster fish, only those footprints. This greatly shocks me. Could it be that attack just now still didn't kill him? I immediately turn to Clone 2. Quick, follow the blood trail and chase him. And the monster fish's direction seems to be toward the gate. If he goes to the human world, won't it cause chaos? Meanwhile, outside, this place has already been sealed off, preventing outsiders from entering. The association will send hunters over soon, so this entrance is temporarily closed. My manager waits here extremely anxiously, mentally urging me to hurry up and come out. At this moment, he hears commotion at the gate entrance nearby. Looking over, several people are crouching at the gate entrance, weapons already in hand, and not far from them is a monster preparing to charge out of the gate entrance. The monster fish turns and arrives at the gate entrance. At the same time, Clone 2 appears behind him. The clone knows his speed won't make it in time, so he throws the dagger in his hand. Whoosh! The dagger swiftly flies toward the monster fish's head. However, this strike doesn't cause any damage to the monster fish. The dagger just bounces off his head. But at this moment, my original body suddenly appears before him and catches the dagger. With one strike, I directly cleave into his forehead. I said before, if you make me bleed, I'll take your life. That wasn't a joke. Everyone is stunned. Where did this hunter come from? He's so fierce. The next moment, I forcibly split the monster fish's head open. Clone 2 in the distance shows a gratified expression. Master has truly made a little bit of progress. Just 3 days ago, I hunted down a D-rank fish head monster. I left everything that followed to my manager to handle. However, the fact that an F-rank hunter like me took down a D-rank monster caught the attention of the Hunter Association, so they're planning to investigate me thoroughly. In this battle, I gained enhancements to 5 different attributes. My manager praises me, amazed that I solo killed a D-rank monster. Then I remember something. I found a short sword on that fishman monster. During the battle, I felt that the fishman became stronger because of this sword. Just as my hand is about to reach for the sword, my manager rushes over and grabs me. Just to be safe, let a clone take it. This sword might be a cursed item. This surprises me. Does a cursed item mean I can't use it? But then my manager says, cursed items are worth over 100 million. With a treasure like this, we should sell it. I completely agree with him. In that case, I'll have a clone take it and leave the rest to the recovery team. At this moment, I pat my pocket. During the earlier battle, I picked up a red crystal from inside the fishman's head. My manager examines the stone in my hand. The next moment, shock crosses his face. He thinks he must be seeing things, so he checks the stone in my hand again and again. After examining it for a while, he finally confirms this is the lowest grade magic stone, completely worthless. Such cruel words. He's too embarrassed to tell me directly, afraid I'll be devastated. But after thinking for a moment, he still says, this type of item isn't valuable. While it can help hunters improve their stats, it can't be used directly, and has many side effects. So nobody outside wants this thing. His words almost make me spit blood in frustration. My manager quickly tries to comfort me. Don't be too upset. Besides this thing, the other items are still quite valuable. Then I leave the rest to him while I head back first. Moments later, I arrive home. I don't recall the two clones. Instead, I let them heal themselves outside. This way, it can increase my recovery ability. Then I raise my hand, magical power gathering in my palm. Next, the deceased clone 3 is summoned back out. I have him change into new equipment and quickly go train. Meanwhile, I sit on the ground, preparing to examine that short sword. From this hunt, I obtained a total of 2 items. My manager said this red crystal wasn't valuable, so I verify it again online. Turns out, it's exactly as my manager said, completely worthless, and humans can't use it. It can only be used by summoned creatures, and clones might undergo demonization after using it, though a one-time stamina increase of 0.005 is very tempting. This demonization still worries me. From my past experience, any damage my clones receive doesn't sink to my body. If someday I get demonized and greet my manager, I might scare him to death. Thinking of that scene frightens me, so I'd better not use this mana crystal. Next, I open the box containing the short sword. My manager told me earlier that it's best to have a clone handle this short sword, otherwise I might be hit with some curse. So just to be safe, I placed the sword in the recovery team's storage box and had a clone carry it back. No problems occurred during the process. Now I call Clone 2 over and have him pick up the sword. Clone 2's hand slowly reaches toward the short sword in the box. The next moment, he suddenly grabs the sword and lets out a scream, but after waiting a moment, nothing happens. Clone 2 indicates he can hear voices inside the short sword, and they're extremely noisy, so I immediately use my familiar skill, preparing to possess Clone 2. The instant I possess him, I hear an incredibly loud noise, so loud my ears feel like they're going to explode. Seeing this, I immediately stop the familiar skill and return to my main body. What I can confirm is that, aside from being a bit noisy, this sword doesn't seem to have any other effects on my clones. Still, I'm a bit scared. This sword should be left for the clones to use. I'd better not touch it. At this moment, my system panel notifies me that my regeneration ability has increased. Just as I suspected, letting clones recover their health outside really does increase my regeneration. However, I won't go easy on them. Tomorrow, I'll still have the clones continue hunting. Next, I plan to practice my meditation skill. After all, school starts tomorrow, and I need to rest well. Time quickly passes to the next day. I head to school full of anticipation, wanting others to see how much I've changed over these 2 months. But I discover that no one greets me. Looks like I'm really not popular at school. Before long, when I push open the classroom door, I freeze in place. I didn't expect to see an old friend the moment I walk in. He chuckles. Didn't expect we'd choose the same course. The credits for this class are especially easy to get, so he applied for it. At this moment, I hear 2 girls nearby expressing surprise at my transformation. They didn't expect me to lose so much weight over just 1 summer vacation. At first glance, they really didn't recognize me. Looks like I've really become much more handsome. My classmate grins wickedly. Your popularity is pretty high now. Aren't you going to go say hello to them? However, I'm skeptical about what they're saying. Have I really changed that much? How come I don't feel it myself? To this, he just says one thing. He'd bet money on it. After you go home from school, your parents definitely won't recognize you. He invites me to go grab drinks with them after school to celebrate the new semester. However, I tell him I already have plans. This startles him. When did you get a girlfriend? I let out a long sigh. She's not a girlfriend, just one of my students. Anyway, I can't go drinking with you guys tonight, but he seems to go deaf, muttering to himself, "You traitor." He raises his hand and points. Only then do I notice my other 2 close friends are also there, and they've heard our entire conversation. Meanwhile, at the World Hunter Association, dozens of executives are monitoring the gate activity here. They discover that the ORAC database has issued a disaster warning. The situation is extremely urgent. The specific details are that mobile gates will appear soon, along with a large-scale monster invasion. This news darkens the faces of the Hunter Association's top brass. If monsters break through, civilians will be in grave danger. Moreover, the scale of this incident is especially massive, covering roughly half of the nation's island. This situation is severe and affects all citizens, so many people have been called to the meeting. At this moment, a man in a suit gets bumped by a beautiful woman. This cat-eared woman is none other than Han Mi-hae, ranked 6th on the national leaderboard, and this man in a suit is Park Won-tae, ranked 3rd on the national leaderboard. After meeting, they attend the conference together, wondering what situation has arisen this time. Haesong-shin, ranked 1st in the nation, is also here. There's something extremely serious now. The Odin dungeon seems to have opened. The man is shocked. He suspected something would happen, but didn't expect it to be this serious. Before long, the Hunter Association president enters the room. After arriving, he first thanks everyone, then he gets straight to the point. This time, the Hunter Association has issued the largest disaster warning in history. The warning states that mobile gates will appear in our country, leading to a massive monster invasion. The system predicts A-rank monsters will appear, so he's issuing a request for assistance to the nation's top guild leaders present. Someone asks if there's a confirmed time and location, but they can't predict that. This angers one man. Are we supposed to put all the nation's hunters on defense right now? And this is precisely why the president called everyone together. Currently, what can be confirmed is that the gates will appear soon. At this point, Park Won-tae raises his hand to speak. I have a proposal. Not sure if it'll work. Hearing this, the president's heart leaps with joy. Please, share your plan. Park Won-tae's plan is simple. All guilds form an emergency response team, remain on standby, patrol their respective areas, and when disaster strikes, immediately converge to to eliminate the monsters together. He specifically emphasizes that all guilds must participate, and violators will face sanctions from the Hunter Association. The president thinks this is a good proposal. If no one has other opinions, we'll adopt this measure. Everyone raises their hands in agreement. It's currently the safest strategy. Even the cat-eared woman agrees. She has no objections. Since it's passed unanimously, they enter full alert status starting today. Meanwhile, I have no idea danger is approaching. I'm planning to go out for barbecue with Ha-Eon in a bit. I'm just thinking about Ha-Eon when she appears before me. Right now, she's being bothered by a man. The man is asking Ha-Eon for her phone number, trying to pursue her, but Ha-Eon says she already has a boyfriend, so she doesn't want to keep dealing with him. At this moment, I step in front of her, puzzled about why she came to my school. Then Ha-Eon winks at me and says something like, "Honey, you're finally here." This leaves me completely confused. When did I become your honey? But she ignores my confusion and simply grabs me, pulling me forward. Then, on the way to the barbecue place, I learned everything that just happened. Turns out that man kept bothering Ha-Eon, so she made up an excuse. Ha-Eon tells me not to misunderstand. She doesn't have a boyfriend. At this moment, my phone receives a text notification. The loan for the familiar skill I bought has been paid off, and what remains is my final payment. This excites me immensely. I didn't expect my account to suddenly have so much money, and the previous 50 million is completely paid off. Then, I generously declare, "Today's on me. Order whatever you want." Moments later, we arrive at a barbecue restaurant. During this time, Ha-Eon keeps sharing interesting things with me, but I'm too busy eating barbecue. Just as I'm about to ask the owner for another serving of meat, Ha-Eon receives a text message. Not just Ha-Eon, everyone present receives a text at the same time. When they see the message, their expressions freeze. Even the TV is interrupted by an emergency broadcast. Now broadcasting a national disaster warning. Everyone please immediately flee to safe locations. Duration undetermined. My heart sinks. From this situation, something has definitely happened. Meanwhile, my close friends happen to pass by here. They're still upset about why I didn't go eat with them. The guy with glasses says, "That fat shut-in is definitely eating with some girl." Just as he finishes speaking, he looks up and sees me and Ha-Eon. At first, they think they're seeing things, but upon closer look, it really is me. This infuriates them. That damn brat really did come here to flirt with a girl. At this moment, they also receive the same message. After reading the message, the big guy's face darkens. "Brothers, something big is happening. Should we still go drinking?" At the same time, the entire forum explodes. Many people are discussing what exactly is going on. Moreover, this warning seems far from simple. The danger level far exceeds our imagination. Right at this moment, I finish eating. As soon as I step outside, I see them standing there. This puzzles me. Are you three stalking me? Otherwise, how would you coincidentally appear here? They laugh heartily. "We were planning to eat at the restaurant. Didn't expect to see you and your girlfriend here too." Hearing them say girlfriend, Ha-Eon immediately blushes. But I explain, I'm just her tutor, so I introduce them to Ha-Eon. They're all my close friends from school. We have a really good relationship. Then I hand the takeout barbecue to Ha-Eon, telling her to go home and eat it with her parents. My friends watch and feel like I've changed. I really do look a bit like a teacher now. But Ha-Eon feels very unhappy. She didn't expect today's outing to end here. It's rare to spend time alone with her teacher. At this moment, someone behind shouts, "Why are you all still here? Get home quickly! It's very dangerous right now." With no choice, I also prepare to head back first. At this moment, I receive a call from my manager. He tells me this disaster warning is extremely serious and will last at least 3 months. Moreover, he says the gates will appear soon, and when that happens, A-rank monsters might emerge. After hearing his news, my face darkens. If it's so dangerous, why doesn't the Hunter Association evacuate everyone immediately? Hearing my question, my manager also expresses helplessness. The main issue is 3 months is just too long. If everyone's normal life is disrupted, aside from basic infrastructure, many businesses will suffer huge losses. Then someone will definitely demand the association bear all responsibility. His words make me grit my teeth in anger. But they can't just send out some useless warning so casually. Are they planning to use this warning as an excuse later? Then my manager hangs up the phone. He's planning to go home quickly and evacuate with his mother. He tells me to hurry home too. Soon, I return home and ask how Clone 1 and Clone 2's recovery is going. Clone 1's condition is quite serious. He's barely hanging on. Clone 2 can already move normally. I feel helpless. I need to get home urgently, and Clone 1 is too badly injured. Looks like I'll have to restore him completely. This delights Clone 1. Finally, he doesn't have to suffer anymore. Then, Clone 1 is summoned back out, completely intact. I have him put on his hat. Otherwise, I might mix up your numbers. 3 minutes later, all the clones are properly dressed. I tell them to get ready. Now follow me home to see Mom. 2.5 hours later, I arrive at the apartment building. I haven't been home in 3 months. Suddenly, I feel a bit nervous. At this moment, I press the doorbell. When I see Mom, I happily hand her the barbecue. "Mom, I'm home!" However, Mom looks completely confused, not remembering having such a handsome son at all. Looks like my friend was right. Mom really doesn't recognize me. Mom asks cautiously, "Are you saying you?" I talk with her for a while, and finally convince her I'm her precious son. At this moment, Dad also comes out and sees me. "You've really changed a lot in these 2 months. Almost didn't recognize you." At the same time, my sister rushes out. Hearing that her brother is home, she's overjoyed. But the next moment, she freezes. "Who are you? Why are you pretending to be my brother?" This leaves me at a loss for words. Looks like I'll have to explain all over again. Then Mom also sees the figures behind me. She thinks they're my friends. I don't explain much, just have them remove their masks. However, everyone who sees this is completely shocked, and I also tell them I've become an E-rank hunter. Mom is is extremely surprised. Becoming a hunter, isn't that very dangerous? I tell mom not to worry, because the dangerous things I can just have the clones do. At this moment, I ask them if they know about the national disaster warning. I think we need to evacuate to a smaller place quickly, because disaster could strike at any moment. Dad says he saw related news in the newspaper. He's also prepared some luggage to leave at any time, but he still wants to understand the specific situation. Moreover, Dad still has to go to work tomorrow. If he suddenly leaves, the company will fire him. Dad's words make cold sweat run down my back. Looks like everyone hasn't realized how serious this is. Tomorrow, I plan to have the whole family relocate. At this moment, Mom invites the clones to come eat together. This delights my 3 clones, but I say, it's too wasteful to give them a full meal. Just let them eat some carrots. And I also give them a bowl of white rice. This way they can at least fill their stomachs. Meanwhile, we're eating meat and fish. During the meal, my sister tells me to eat less. Otherwise, you'll turn back into a 200-pound fatty. Hearing this, my parents laugh heartily. Our family hasn't gathered together for a meal in so long. While feeling satisfied, I also feel somewhat melancholic. I don't know what their expressions will be like when I have them leave home tomorrow. However, the next moment, a massive explosion occurs right in front of me. When I open my eyes again, I only feel a splitting headache. Then I look ahead in disbelief. Our apartment building has already become ruins, even the balcony completely shattered. Not only that, but outside the building, there are many monsters, and most of them are a rank. Looking up, regret floods through me. I shouldn't have waited until tomorrow. I should have brought my parents away from here the moment I got home today. I look down and see Clone 1's equipment. I estimate that in the instant of the explosion, he shielded me with his body. Turning my head, I find Clone 2 and Clone 3 are still alive, though Clone 3 has lost an arm. However, he tells me not to worry. The bleeding has stopped. My combat power might just drop significantly. I didn't expect the gate to appear so quickly. Moreover, Clone 1 has been eliminated, and Clone 3 is seriously injured. Escaping definitely won't be simple. At this moment, Mom slowly stands up. She suffered the least injury from the explosion's aftermath. Not just Mom, even my sister and Dad wake up at the same time. Dad sees the house turned into this state and feels immense heartache. I tell him to forget about the house. The most important thing is to escape first. I look up at the sky and discover the gate has already opened. That means countless monsters will come pouring out. Moreover, outside is already extremely chaotic. Everyone is screaming. This monster invasion into the human world is massive. Without hundreds of hunters, this situation absolutely can't be resolved. Moments later, Dad takes out the items he prepared earlier. I tell everyone that during the escape, they must stay close to me. Absolutely don't fall behind. After Clone 1 disappeared, I toss his protective gear to my sister to put on. My sister glances at Clone 3's arm, her heart full of worry. At this moment, a figure crashes heavily onto our floor. Looking closely, I discover it's not a person but a monster. I don't understand why a monster would fall from the sky and drop dead on impact. Looking more carefully, another monster falls from the sky, literally falling to its death. It must be because the gate appeared in midair. Those that can't fly or are weak are falling to their deaths. On the other side, Dad, preparing to leave, finds the door won't open. It seems to be blocked. I immediately take the stick from Dad's hand. Let me handle this. The next moment, my palm clenches tightly, using the most basic strike skill. With a loud clang, I smash the door lock with one strike. Then I follow up with a kick, directly kicking the door off its hinges. This scene stuns my family behind me. They didn't expect me to be this powerful. After coming out, I discover we can't get through here at all. All the monsters have completely blocked the path. My sister remembers. Our building's basement has a temporary shelter. I immediately decide to take my family to a safe place first, then wait for the clone cooldown time myself. But the problem is, the moment I turn around, I hear someone calling for help. Turning my head, I see a man ahead trapped under rubble, and above him, a D-rank monster has its eyes on him. Hearing me say I want to save him, Dad's face immediately darkens. After a moment of contemplation, he lets me make my own decision. But think clearly, we can barely save ourselves right now. Dad's tone is almost pleading, urging me to quickly head to the basement shelter. At this moment, my heart struggles immensely. Clone 3 can't fight monsters now, and Clone 2 alone can't save him. Meanwhile, the man behind keeps shouting for help. My heart struggles terribly, but if I die, it's all over, because I'm not like the clones who can respawn. If I die, everything is gone. Right now, my heart is pounding hard, as if adrenaline is pumping through my veins at maximum capacity. My family behind keeps urging me to quickly go to the basement shelter. On one side is my family's urging. On the other, a civilian's cry for help. This makes it really hard to choose. However, I know I can't hesitate now. Otherwise, I won't be able to save either side. So I speak rapidly, telling my sister that after they reach the shelter, they must lock the door tight and wait for me to come back for them. And I have Clone 3 protect my family. But my sister thinks I've gone mad. In this situation, you can't handle this alone. Though my heart is filled with fear, I absolutely must go, because I'm a hunter. So I ignore my sister's pleading and directly take Clone 2 to go rescue him. My sister tries to stop me, but Clone 3 holds her tightly. Right now, I'm a hunter. A hunter's primary duty is to eliminate monsters. With a bang, I strike back the monster's attack with one blow. The monster clutches its face in pain. I order Clone 2, pull that man out from under the rubble, and I point at the monster ahead. Your opponent now is me. At the same time, above me, another monster is staring in my direction. Soon, the man is rescued by Clone 2. This D-rank monster grins wickedly upon seeing me, as if looking at an amusing toy. This leaves me speechless. This big guy in front of me is going to be a bit tough to handle, so I have Clone 2 take out the short sword he's carrying. Not only that, I also pull out a red crystal from behind. I learned about this red crystal before. It's specifically for clones to consume, and after swallowing it, demonization might occur, but right now I can't worry about that. I directly toss the red crystal to Clone 2. Eat it! With a crunch, Clone 2 directly swallows that red crystal. The moment he swallows the red crystal, his eyes widen sharply and his entire skin begins turning red. This scene stuns me. Is Clone 2 undergoing demonization? At this moment, Clone 2 has completely changed his aura, demonic energy surging all over his body. I ask tremblingly, "Are you still my clone?" He answers, "Yes, master." Even the monster across is stunned. How did one of their own kind suddenly appear? They monsters also have a principle. Don't kill their own kind. After Clone 2's demonization, I discover my body isn't affected. Instead, my stamina has increased significantly. Looks like this red crystal can be used by clones. And next, I need to deal with this massive monster in front of me. Clone 2's speed is incredibly fast. The short sword in his hand seems to be thinning the blood in his body, directly boosting Clone 2's combat power by about 5 times. This is unbelievable. I didn't expect this sword's power to be so formidable. At this moment, the monster charges forward. However, unexpectedly, Clone 2's speed is even faster. With one slash, he severs one of its legs. With a heavy thud, this D-rank monster falls straight to the ground. At the same time, my figure arrives in front of it. The staff in my hand has long been ready to strike. This scene actually scares the D-rank monster to tears. It seems to be begging me for mercy. Though I understand what it means, I don't plan to spare it. Moreover, I specifically target its weak points. I swing the staff, striking directly at its vulnerable eye. Though this is just the most basic strike skill, it can't withstand my countless combo attacks. After more than 10 consecutive strikes, this monster is finally beaten to death, and the system notifies me that all my attributes have increased. The power of that strike made my arm go numb, and it still aches faintly. At the same time, a helicopter is hovering above us, and this man is Park Won-tae, an S-rank hunter from a top guild. My entire fight with the monster fell under his observation. He sighs. Young people these days are all quite powerful. At this moment, someone behind reports that massive spotted dragon has left the area. Park Won-tae tells his subordinates to handle things here first. Besides, other guilds are attacking that spotted dragon. Going there would be a waste of manpower. Right now, the primary task is to rescue survivors. At this moment, he uses his ability to observe my direction. Then he discovers more and more people gathering around me. This completely stuns him. An E-rank hunter can actually hold on for so long. However, he must go provide support quickly. Otherwise, if this continues, I probably won't be able to hold on much longer. Then he leaps up and jumps from the helicopter. Behind him, a glider parachute allows him to control his direction. On my side, I'm also about to reach my limit. If this continues, I'll definitely die here. Originally, I planned to find my family after dealing with that D-rank monster, but I ended up surrounded by some goblins. Moreover, survivors around me keep gathering. With no choice, I gather them all together. I turn and shout to them, "Quickly head to the apartment basement. There's a shelter there," and I have Clone 2 cut a path for them to escape while I hold back the goblins. Bang, bang, bang. I instantly fire 3 shots, piercing through the goblins' heads. Clone 2 is also about to carve out a path. This delights me. If this continues, we'll successfully break through in less than 30 seconds, and then we can reach the basement shelter. But at this moment, the ground suddenly shakes violently. Then, a massive black bird bursts out from underground. Its body is about 10 meters in size, and it's not an ordinary bird but a demon beast with nature abilities. My heart sinks. I'm afraid I'm going to fall here today.